Hi, it's Palest. You guys can call me Harry, and welcome to another Black Ops commentary. In my last commentary, I mentioned doing a guide for headquarters, sort of a quick hints and tips video. And so here I'm going to give the main kind of advice on playing well in headquarters, sort of consistently. I've been playing it quite a lot recently because I've been aiming to party up with my friends. So that that kind of adds the element of being able to speak to people who you're friends with, and also win lots of games. So it's a double whammy, extra good. If you can party up with people, I really recommend that you do. There's nothing that can really replace teamwork in any of the Call of Duty games, really. That is the aspect of paramount importance. So if you've got friends, I suggest trying to party up as much as you can. If you haven't, well, find some. Anyway, that's the first bit of advice for this video. Find some friends. That will do wonders for your KD and your win-loss ratio if you're kind of a numbers person. Anyway, I want to talk about what I'm doing in this video. At the beginning of any headquarters match, I try to figure out where the enemy team will be spawning, and you want to do that in any time in which the headquarters is a target rather than the capture point. If you're unaware of the mechanics of headquarters, for a certain period of time, the headquarters station will remain a target area. So that will tell you where the headquarters is going to be in, I think it's for 45 seconds. So you won't be able to capture that headquarters area for 45 seconds. And in that time you want to sort of set up... Watch this guy get turned on. Ouch. Anyway, yeah, you want to set up around that sort of target zone. You want to lock it down in those 45 seconds so that when it becomes available for capture, you can just send one or two people on there to cap it. Have everybody else keep locking down the area. I wouldn't recommend everyone go on there, because then you're just looking to get naded out and blasted out. You want to sort of lock down the area and then have a couple of people on there to cap it, because it still doesn't take that long really to cap as soon as you're getting 2 or 3 people on a headquarters. And again, this goes back to playing with friends, playing in a party, having some teamwork, having some communication going. So this is headquarters specifically on grid. I've chosen the Commando. Very good all-round gun. I quite enjoy it. I mean, the problem with it is the unpredictable recoil. The thing about recoil on a lot of guns in this game is they're predictable. I mean, guns like the FAMAS and the Galil, they will always recoil up and to the right. So you can kind of compensate for those, but the Commando is a bit different. It's kind of a dichotomy in that the recoil is more random, but at the same time, because it's more random, it has more of a chance of cancelling itself out. Whereas with the Galil and the FAMAS, when your recoil is gone, then it is truly gone, and it's hard to get back on your target. But that it suits a game like headquarters in a way, in that especially on a map like Grid, where you're having to switch constantly between indoors areas and outdoors areas. Inside the Commando can hold its own, and outside, as I'll show in this video, you can pick people off quite nicely out of spawn. And in headquarters, you often need that versatility of being able to lock down an area and jump on a headquarters. Jumping on the headquarters often means confining yourself to closer, close combat areas. If you're really trying to be really organised with your team, then I'd recommend having a few guys with maybe 3 guys with submachine guns. They'll play the main role in capturing the headquarters, and everyone else will still be playing sort of an objective-based role, but not such an explicitly objective-based role, if you like, in keeping other people off of the objective. So don't let people tell you. This is a quick aside. Don't let people tell you if you're getting the kills that you're not contributing towards the objectives. Obviously, you have to be conscious of what's going on in objective play. But if you're getting kills, then you're going to keep the enemy team off of those objectives. You're going to be able to lock down spawns. And as everyone knows, air support is so influential in deciding who captures objectives, that having a few people on your team able to get up the kill streaks, as well as having people on the team who are prepared to jump on the objectives, is important. You really need that balance. So as you can see in this game of headquarters, you'll probably see me cap a few, but you'll also see me keep them off, as you can see right here. I mean, obviously the Blackbirds do me a lot of help, but I go on the nice streak with this Spectre here, I think. It's really just a case of quick thinking, trying to snap on with the aim, and just trying to keep them locked in spawn. You see, I nade this guy. That's a wise decision. I think I get the nade kill there as well, and then assist there. So as you can see, I'm just trying to effectively lock down this spawn. Now there's switch spawns, and as someone who's trying to keep them out of spawn, I'd usually have to relocate in another advantageous position around their spawn. But as I was just talking about, air support can do that for you really. And here I'm able to pick them out and call out their spawns before I get shot down, but still pick up a good number of kills, and I think that's a good case for continuing to use air support, such as the chopper gunner and the gunship, because even though they do get shot down nowadays probably more than they did at the beginning of the game, you're still going to average a good 7 or 8 kills, including both your good and your bad chopper gunners and gunships. And I think that's still better than pretty much every other kill streak. Plus, potentially two, or sometimes one, but often 2 guys on the enemy team are going to be preoccupied and trying to take you out. So that suddenly makes it a 6 versus 4, which is of course a really big advantage. In fact, being able to play in a team and also having the same amount of players or more players than the other team are really huge advantages in this game. So if you can keep other players in spawn, keep them waiting to respawn, that's going to put your objective players at a huge advantage. And once again, I think that's a strong argument for having people who are willing to get lots of kills in your team, as well as those who are willing to jump on the objectives. So now I'm aware that the target's upstairs, and as you can see, I was just cleaning out the area around the target so that it can be capped next. And actually the targets themselves, as you can see there, are good places to cap from behind, because often they're quite solid cover. I believe they can be shot through from certain angles, especially certainly bomb sites, demolition bomb sites can be shot through, the same as obviously search and destroy and sabotage in that case, especially if you've got hardened. So here I'm using that as cover. Cover, once again, a keyword, pops up in a lot of my commentaries. And in headquarters, when you're defending, you want to be putting up something called a head glitch if you can, which is basically where you might be aware of the game mechanic in Call of Duty where bullets actually come out the top of your character's head. So if you can just position yourself so that only the top of your head is showing, you can still shoot someone else, but he or she can't shoot you back. Anyway, I've reverted from my objective role to my to this sort of more of a slayer killing role. I've identified where their spawn is by the red dots, and unfortunately they are going to switch spawn in a minute. As you can see, I'm just trying to pick them off, and having a silencer here, it helps you keep quiet, helps you keep off the radar, and that is quite useful in public matches. But then I must admit I quite noticed the loss of range, especially with the FAMAS, which is a recoily weapon. Anyway, here I think I make a slight error in that I'm a little bit too far away from the headquarters. Although you can see my team respawning on the mini map, so that means that the headquarters was coming to an end anyway, so it doesn't actually cost us any points. But I guess what you want to be conscious of all the time is where is the headquarters, because you can get too preoccupied with killing the enemy team out spawn, and you can end up not playing for your team as well as you potentially could if you get too sidetracked as to get your kill streaks. You want to get kill streaks, but then you also want to play the objective and try to take people off the headquarters when they're capping it, obviously. I just got that kill in that little tunnel kind of thing there, that gutter. That's because one of my friends called that guy out for me, and it shows you the importance of call-outs. You don't really hear call-outs spoken about as much in context of public gameplay as competitive gameplay, where it can really give you the edge, mainly because of the use of the spy plane. But when there are people using Ghost, call them out, because we all get killed by Ghost players quite a lot, and it is quite an effective tactic, especially if you're pairing it with the silencer. So if you know there's a Ghost player, he's flanking, tell your team if you can. That will always help. In headquarters, though, that's not usually such a problem, because you can usually funnel, or you can tell, especially if you capture the headquarters, there will only be at most I'd say 4 or 5, but usually just 2 or 3 main areas into that, real routes into that headquarters. So if you can set up in those areas, then you're going to be guaranteed a lot of kills and guaranteed a lot of success in general in a headquarters game. Once again, though, here we are, the whole team really getting too sidetracked from the headquarters. They've spawned. We've gone so far into original spawn that they've actually spawned near the headquarters and been able to take it off of us. Not too big of a problem though. As you can see, it's a target, so I'm not worried about them being on that headquarters area, because it's only written as target at the moment, so they can't actually capture it. I die there, but I just go straight back to my role of trying to sort of secure the position. Finish off that guy. I'm looking for their spawn, and I think the thing with the spy plane is, it's become less reliable since the advent of ghosts, but what it still does allow you to do is work out where the enemy team is generally spawning, and then you can position yourself in a favourably to counter that. So here I clear out the headquarters. Obviously, you want to lead with a grenade when you're clearing out headquarters. Any kind of instance in which you can avoid direct confrontation with an enemy and still kill him or her is, of course, very good. I'm being very careful when moving around this corner because I know that they could. I don't know exactly where they're spawning, so they could come through there. Get quite jumpy because I hear the sounds of teammates. But really, I mean, if you look at this headquarters, there are only sort of 2 or 3 main ways that the enemy can come through. So with 6 of us alive, it'd be quite easy to hold them off in general. And that's the end of the game. Quite a nice score, 53 for 2. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you all next time.